1 second. Hold on a second. Hold on. Hi, I will be right here. I need to grab my work.
Okay.
Okay. I'm seeing you Thursday, but are you like I will sit outside. I'll be sure to come. Okay, well, I gotta get some home phone for you. You better text me as soon as you open my tablet or your phone. Okay, sorry about that.
That's all right. How you been? How was your Thanksgiving holiday?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Good.
All right.
So,
do we want to start on 21 here?
yeah, we are actually, she told us that 25 through 28, we are doing in class tomorrow,
Okay.
but she wanted us to finish 21 through 24 as homework.
Okay. So let's look at 21.
Okay.
It tells you that we really want to look at f of h of 4.
Okay.
Well, how do we fill in this? What is h of 4 equal to?
If 4?
Well, if h of x equals 8x cubed, then what is h of 4 equal?
4 cubed?
Well, 8 times 4 cubed. In other words, whenever you evaluate a function by putting a number or a letter in parentheses, the way you solve it is by plugging in that into the function. So h of 4 would be 8 times 4 cubed.
Okay.
Okay. 4 cubed is 64. So 8 times 64, I believe, is 512.
Okay, is that number 21?
Well, hold on.
I'm confused. Oh, never mind. You were just giving an example.
No, I'm going through it step by step because they want something here also. Can you see where I'm pointing? Okay. In other words, it's f of h of 4 equals f of what? Well, what is h of 4? H of 4 is 512. So now the problem becomes f of 512. Well,
but where does something equal 8? I'm confused. Where did you get the 8 from?
This function up here, h of x, is there's 5 functions up there.
Okay.
Okay. So when they say what is f of h of 4, that's what this means. It's f of h of 4. And then we want to start from the inside and work our way out. So we have to figure out what h of 4 is. And that's what's 512. So now it's f of 512, which is, we go back to the f function. Well, f of x was equal to 4 times x to the 1/3. So f of 512 is 4 times 512 to the 1/3.
Okay, so then 512 would go inside both of those parentheses, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay. Sorry, I'm a little rusty. It's been a whole week.
That's okay. I experience the same thing whenever I work. Do you need a number for this? Do you need an answer? Do you have your calculator? What's the cube root of 512? times 4.
All right, cube root here. Of 512.
Just take 512 raised to the 1/3 power.
All right, 512.
It's got to be 8.
Yes, it is 8.
Okay. So 4 times 8 is 32.
Okay, sorry, sneezy attack. I got bronchitis over break, so I'm recovering.
Okay. So let's look at 32. Hold on, I don't want to remove all of our functions here. So what is k of g evaluated at 5? So if we do it exactly the same way that 21 was done, that's equal to what?
So k would be equal to 4.
Well, now hold on. We're going to do it exactly the way we did 21, where we had f of h evaluated at 4, and we did it this way. So now we're going to do exactly the same thing. What is k of g evaluated at 5? What's the first thing I need to write? In other words, what is this equivalent step right here?
K times g?
It's not times. It's make sure you don't use times when you say this. It's of.
Of? Okay, so k.
It's not multiplication that's taking place.
Right.
In other words, it's k of g of 5. So the way I would pronounce that would be k of g of 5.
Okay.
Okay. All right. And now, what is g of 5?
G of 5 would be 2 divided by 5 plus 1.
So that's 2/6 or 1/3. So it's really k of 1/3. You see what I do?
Yeah.
Okay. And now what is k of 1/3?
K of 1/3.
Here's the k function up here.
That'd be 4 times 1/3 to the negative 1. Right?
Okay, yeah, let's figure out how to write that. What in the world is going on with my... Hold on. Just a second. Wow. I hope I don't have to reboot, but I may have to. Just a second here. I don't seem to have any control over any of my windows. Yeah. Let me think here for a moment whether there's anything I can do other than reboot my machine. That's what I'm going to have to do is reboot, and I'll send you a new meeting ID number. So what I'd like you to do is log out of GoToMeeting and wait for my new meeting ID number. It'll be like 5 minutes. It takes my machine that long to reboot.
Okay, no worries.
Sorry.
That's fine.
Okay. I'll talk to you shortly here.
Okay. Bye.